Most metals have one unavoidable enemy: rust. Iron begins corroding almost the moment it's exposed to air and moisture. So how did humans create a metal that can survive for decades in your kitchen, your car, even inside hospitals without rusting away? The answer is far stranger than most people realize. Stainless steel actually begins life as ordinary iron, one of the easiest metals to rust. But inside a factory, it undergoes a series of extreme transformations. Rock is melted into glowing rivers of metal, impurities are stripped away, and one final chemical treatment gives it the clean, mirror-like surface you've seen countless times. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why stainless steel resists rust, while ordinary steel doesn't, and you'll never see an everyday fork, sink, or knife the same way again. The rock that rusts. Every piece of stainless steel begins as iron ore. Not shiny metal, not silver, just dark, heavy rock. This rock is full of iron oxide, which is just a scientific way of saying it's already rusted. It's been rusting for millions of years, sitting underground, reacting slowly with the world above it. And this is the raw material for a metal famous for never rusting. Sounds impossible. But here's where it gets interesting. The transformation doesn't happen by removing the rust. It happens by rewriting the rock's chemistry completely, starting with fire hot enough to turn stone into liquid. And here's a number that puts this in perspective. Producing 1 ton of stainless steel can require mining several tons of raw ore. Most of what comes out of the ground never survives the journey. It gets burned away, stripped out, and discarded long before the metal earns the word stainless. The furnace that melts the earth. The iron ore is loaded into a blast furnace, along with 2 other ingredients: coke and limestone. Temperatures inside climb past 1,500 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt steel beams like candle wax. The coke burns, the limestone reacts, and the iron ore is stripped down to its core. What comes out is molten iron, a glowing liquid river of metal. But here's the twist. This molten iron is not stainless, not even close. Left alone, it would rust within hours of cooling. It needs something added, something that doesn't just resist rust, but actively fights it. The invisible shield that something is chromium. Here's a strange fact. Chromium itself was once just a colorful mineral, prized for the bright pigments it produced. Nobody thought of it as armor. But mixed into molten iron, it becomes something else entirely. Chromium is poured into the molten iron in a form called ferrochrome. And the moment chromium mixes into the metal, something remarkable happens at the atomic level. Chromium reacts with oxygen in the air to form an invisible layer, chromium oxide. This layer is so thin, you can't see it or feel it, but it's a shield. And here's the part that sounds like science fiction. If you scratch it, it heals itself. Expose fresh chromium to oxygen, and within seconds, a new shield forms. This is why stainless steel doesn't rust. It's constantly repairing its own armor. To officially count as stainless, the metal needs at least 5% chromium. Nickel and manganese often join the mix too, adding strength, flexibility, and even more resistance to heat and corrosion. But this glowing mixture is still far from finished. It's still loaded with something dangerous: carbon. Burning out the impurities. Too much carbon makes steel brittle, weak, prone to cracking under pressure, so the molten metal goes through a process with a name that sounds like something from a chemistry lab: argon-oxygen decarbonization, or AOD. Argon and oxygen are blasted directly into the liquid metal. The oxygen targets the carbon, burning it away. The argon protects the chromium, stopping it from being destroyed in the process. It's a precise balancing act happening inside metal glowing white-hot. Get it wrong, and the entire batch is ruined. Get it right, and what remains is a refined, purified alloy, the true foundation of stainless steel. But right now, it's still liquid, shapeless, formless. It needs to become something solid. From liquid fire to solid steel. This is where continuous casting comes in. The molten steel is poured into molds, where it cools just enough to form a solid outer skin, while staying molten inside. It's pulled, stretched, and cut into massive slabs or long billets. Imagine toothpaste being squeezed from a tube, except the toothpaste is 1000 degrees Celsius steel. These slabs are the building blocks of everything stainless steel becomes, but right now they're rough, thick, unusable. To turn these slabs into something you'd actually recognize, they need to be crushed, stretched, and reshaped under immense pressure. The crushing press. The slabs are reheated to around 1200 degrees Celsius, glowing orange, almost liquid again. Then they're fed through massive rollers that crush them down, again and again, reducing their thickness with every pass. This is hot rolling, and it's violent. Each pass through the rollers can reduce the steel's thickness dramatically. What comes out the other side is a long, thin sheet of steel, but it's covered in a rough, dark layer called scale. To remove it, the steel is dragged through an acid bath. This is called pickling. The acid eats away the scale, revealing the steel underneath. But even now, the surface isn't ready. It's still too rough for surgical tools, skyscrapers, or your kitchen sink. The final transformation. Now comes cold rolling, passing the steel through rollers again, but this time without heat. This tightens the internal structure, increases strength, and brings the steel to its exact final thickness. But cold rolling makes the metal hard and stiff, almost too stiff to work with. So it's heated again in a process called annealing, softening the steel just enough to make it usable without losing its strength. For the highest-end finishes, the kind you see on surgical instruments or designer appliances, the steel goes through electropolishing. An electric current runs through a chemical bath, dissolving microscopic imperfections on the surface. What's left isn't just smooth, it's reflective, almost like a mirror, the final judge. Before any of this steel leaves the factory, it faces one last challenge. Samples are pulled and tested for strength, for flexibility, for how it reacts to salt, acid, and moisture. Chemical analysis confirms the exact ratio of chromium, nickel, and iron. If even one test fails, the entire batch doesn't ship. Only steel that survives every test earns the right to be called stainless. So the next time you pick up a fork, or look at a skyscraper's silver frame, or trust a surgeon's scalpel not to fail mid-operation, remember what that metal went through. It started as rock that rusted for millions of years. It was melted, purified, gassed, crushed, stretched, and polished over and over until its very chemistry changed. The thing you trust not to rust was once the thing that rusted the most, and maybe that's the real lesson hiding inside every stainless steel object you own. The strongest things aren't born strong, they're forged that way. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. That already puts you ahead of most viewers. If you're curious about the hidden side of everyday things, subscribe for more and let me know in the comments what we should break down next.